pretend you are in an interview or a networking event and somebody asked you, tell me about yourself. But you know what? You were very smart. You prepared beforehand, but you prepared with AI and you sound like everybody else. Too polished, too sophisticated, too frictionless. And that leads to, you know what? You being ignored. You're like everybody else. So, what do we do? I'm sure many of us can tell within 15 seconds when someone opens their mouth that this is an AI script. What do we do? The problem is that AI is not bad. It's just that we are not telling it the story we want to tell. We're not taking control over our story and we're letting it decide what our story is. So, what you're going to do now is to formulate your response to tell me about yourself, and let's go step by step. Okay? So, step number one, I want you to write down broadly what you do. Don't overcomplicate. Don't think too much about this. Okay? I want you to write down what you do. So you talk about the years, you talk about the industry, you talk about the function and the domain. Okay? So you talk about these things, just write down in blocks. You don't have to write full sentences. Then you want to move into specifically. Specifically focuses on what you do right now. Right now, it could be I lead a team of digital marketers, or I am a part of the team of digital marketers. Write down very specifically what are you doing right now. Then the next part is the best part. Now you're going to write down what is your specific advantage. What is your specific knowledge? Your specific knowledge. What is it that you do that nobody else can do? And here, in the age of AI, you want to pick a deeply human skill. Now, I'm going to show you a short video done by Naval Ravikant in which he explains what specific knowledge is. Let's play that video.
Specific knowledge that only you know or only a small set of people know. And it's basically going to come out of your passions and your hobbies, oddly enough. So if you have hobbies around intellectual curiosity, you're more likely to develop these passions, and you're more likely to develop skill sets that society does not yet know how to train other people how to do. Because if it can train other people how to do something, then it can replace them. And if it can replace them, then it doesn't have to pay them a lot. So you want to know how to do something that other people don't know how to do at the time period when they want it. So for example, like you might be interested in programming for computers and you're into really esoteric deep learning algorithms, and it doesn't really matter until society assembles large enough data sets, enough computing machines, that the AI revolution shows up. And then all of a sudden your hobby turns into specific knowledge. And then you want to take that specific knowledge and you want to be known as the person who can deliver that. So you have to have a brand and a reputation.
Okay, so specific knowledge is something that you are really, really good at. Let me give you a couple of examples. So, a legal counsel lawyer that I worked with, he said that I am really, really good at looking at large sets of legal documents, being able to understand them very fast, and then see how this makes meaning to the company that I work for. I'm able to sift out the parts that are relevant for our company and then use that to be able to drive profitability or reduce risk for our company. Now, it's the second part, the meaning-making part, that is the very, very deeply human part of it. One lady said that I work in the team of consumer insights, but what I'm really good at is consumer conversations. Because when I do consumer conversation, I get insights not just by what they say, I get insights by what they don't say that actually I can see hidden in their expressions, in their environments. And when I probe more, I get to the right kind of insight. So I want you to kind of really think about what is your specific knowledge, right? So we did broadly, we did specifically, we did specific knowledge. If you just kept it at that, you do sound professional, that broadly I do this, specifically I do this, my specific knowledge is this. But there are two things that are wrong with it. Number one, as I mentioned, in the age of AI, you got to sound human. We are missing a personal touch from this part. There's nothing personal about you in this, right? The second thing is that you think you're good at this. There is no evidence to that. You want to provide evidence. So what you're going to do next is to add evidence. Tell a little story where you've been able to bring that specific knowledge to life. For example, right? Consumer conversations. One lady said that I work for a brand that makes adult diapers. And she says that the biggest insight everybody looked at, like, the the softness of the material, the ability to absorb. But in consumer conversations, I learned that people feel very embarrassed about the fact that they actually have to wear adult diapers. And nobody ever worked on how do you make a product that reduces that embarrassment for people. So then she brought that back to the company and made diapers that could really nobody could tell that they're wearing those diapers, right? So I think it is important to provide an evidence, a story where you've lived that specific knowledge. Let's come to making it more human. The personal thing is now I want you to say if that's your specific knowledge, is there anything in my growing years? Is there anything that happened in my life that has actually made me good at these conversations? So, for example, the legal counsel said that when I was in high school, my parents could only pick me up from school 2 hours after the school finished. So I spent a lot of time in the library reading, which really developed my ability to read very fast and comprehend what it's trying to say. And that now helps me in my profession as a lawyer. The lady who talked about being able to have human conversations to drive the right kind of insight said that, for the first 17 years of her life, she actually lived in 15 countries. And when she was living in those 15 countries, what she realized was every year there was a new thing to be learned. Now, once you've got that, you must have four things: broadly, specifically, specific knowledge, evidence, five things, and a personal thing that brings that specific knowledge. Now, you take all of this, you put it into AI and say, be very careful how you prompt this. These are the building blocks of my tell me about yourself. Please retain my style, language, and make it warm human tone. Now, when it gives you the output, I encourage you to use that output to put it on LinkedIn, put it on your bio. But when you speak it, you don't follow the script. You just go, broadly, I do this, very specifically, I do this now. But what I really love doing, what my passion, I'm turning specific knowledge into passion because people don't understand what specific knowledge is. So it's done within 2 minutes, but it is so much more meaningful. And because you have built these foundation blocks, you would know how to say it. I hope that helps you tell the best tell me about yourself story and thrive at work in the age of AI, where everything just sounds so polished and lacks the human touch. Stay storied, and I'll see you here very soon with another tutorial to help you tell your story.